Good morning. Ohayou gozaimasu, minasan. It's Gray from Wakizashi's Tea House over in Japan. Are you good? Are you genki? Yes, it's quite early, but it's Wednesday morning here for me. So the new issue of Amazing Spider-Man is out, and I've got a review, an early review of it. Now, I will warn you, not in this opening part, but I'm going to give spoilers for the story summary. I'm not going to show the very end, but I will show quite a lot of this issue and talk about what goes on. So that's just a warning, okay? I'll give you a spoiler warning later on anyway. But this is Amazing Spider-Man issue 32, legacy number 926. Check out this cover. We've got Spider-Man, Kraven, and Goblin Queen, or Queen Goblin. Now, for once, this pretty much sums up what the story's about, or who's going to be in the story. The only one they're missing is Norman Osborn, because he has a very important part to play too. But anyway, what you want to know is this issue any good? Now, come on, that is relative, isn't it, to Zeb Wells' run, but is it worth checking out? I'll tell you what, for the first time in I don't know how long, I thought this was a pretty decent issue of Amazing Spider-Man. That's right, there's only a couple of cringe-worthy scenes in there. One is a kind of a nasty little dig at the Punisher, which I'll talk about later on. But anyway, otherwise, yeah, it's actually a decent story. We've got Spider-Man, of course. There's a nice setup with Kraven and Queen Goblin, who I don't know much about. But I will make a point of there is a huge info dump on the recap page, where they're kind of catching you up with what's been going on, and it's referring to things that I've no idea about. Now, maybe that's things in Spider-Man issues past that I've just missed, or it could be referring to the either the Red Goblin or the Gold Goblin miniseries recently. Even the Goblin Queen, did she have a miniseries? I'm not sure, but anyway, I've missed a lot. But I will say, I really enjoyed seeing Kraven, even though it's not the Kraven I grew up with. I've seen Kraven in here, and there is a reference to the classic Kraven's Last Hunt. Oh my god, that takes me back. One of my favourite story arcs for Spider-Man back in the day when it was going. It was spread over 3 different Spidey titles. Yeah, showing my age there. And it had covers by Mike Zeck. Oh my god. But anyway, yeah, it's a decent issue. If you've been infuriated and annoyed by Spider-Man recently, a bit like me, then I think you probably enjoy this. But hey, what do I know? It's me, isn't it? Gray, the positive guy from Wakizashi's Tea House. I'm not one of those people who scream and shout, I hate everything. If I did that, I might get thousands of views. Hey, crazy, right? And as usual, I keep forgetting to say it because I'm not used to this yet, but if I give this a rating, I would give this a Wakizashi Tea House 7 out of 10. I know, crazy, right? Now, 7 for me is a pretty decent score, yeah? I'm not one of those people who throws out 9s and 10s all the time unless it's really, really good. Well, I don't think I've ever given a 10 to anything. Seriously. Anyway, so just to let you know, 7 for me is a decent score. Okay, back to the review. As I say, what I'll do is I will give the story summary without spoiling the ending, of course. I'm not spoiling the last few pages. And there will be, I say, mild spoilers for the issue. So yeah, if you want to keep watching, that will be awesome. But please keep watching. Here we go. Let's start with a positive. For once, the cover tells you what's going to happen inside the issue. I know, crazy, right? The only person who's missing is Norman Osborn. Norman Osborn has been set upon a righteous path. When the Sin Eater removed Norman's sins from him, he abandoned the moniker of the Green Goblin to build Oscorp and try his hand at superheroics, now dubbed the Gold Goblin by the public. But Green Goblin's evils didn't just vanish from the world. The Beyond Corporation got their hands on the concentrated physical manifestation of Norman's sins and injected them into therapist Ashley Kafka, transforming her into Queen Goblin. Blaming him for her metamorphosis, Queen Goblin set out on a mission to systematically destroy Norman. In a final confrontation, Gold Goblin was forced to kill Queen Goblin to save Spider-Man's life. But Peter and Norman are about to be reminded goblins don't stay dead for long. I'll tell you what, that is a huge info dump. For someone like me who hasn't read the Sins Past or the Sin Eater story, please let me know in the comments because I have no idea. Is this referring to the Gold Goblin miniseries or is it something else that I've missed? The issue opens with Queen Goblin and Kraven performing some kind of ceremony. Now just let me read from some of the dialogue here. I follow the flames through eternity. I hunt her essence. I travel to the deepest parts of her. Hang on a minute, what was that? Just kidding. It's a sacred thing, like dying or being born. We've got Kraven and Queen Goblin on the floor. We hear about the ceremony. It's to coax the unseen into the light. Did it work? It did, says Kraven. Then we get a great image and we see, of course, it's Patrick Gleason on art in this issue. The goblin's sins imbue my spear. You're free, Kafka. She replies she doesn't feel free, but maybe she will once they find their way home. In the background, there's a pinned photograph of Norman Osborn. It's been pinned by a dagger. It doesn't bode well for Norman. Okay, we switch scenes to New York City. We've got Peter Parker calling Norman Osborn, checking he's not stuck, working at the office. Didn't know he cared so much. Norman tells him that he's working on the electric plasma engine, which is important because it will come into it later. Then Peter gets another call, and it's Felicia. She's checking in. Apparently it's been a few weeks since they broke up. Just making sure Peter's not too depressed. Wait, where are you? He tells her that he's meeting Janice's friend Michelle. Hold on, the lawyer? Wait a minute, Peter, is this a date? Then Peter explains, No, Randy and Janice aren't doing well. You remember last issue? The non-wedding yet again? Anyway, Peter tells her that they haven't talked since the wedding, or the attempted wedding. Felicia, why did you ask if it was a date? Why do you think, Peter? Because she's hot. Then we get some Zeb Wells comedy of Peter being late. 8:15? Is that a thing for you, Peter? Then during dinner we get some info on what happened after the wedding was so rudely interrupted last issue. Randy sped off without even asking which hospital his bride's injured father was being taken to. Peter replies, he sped off with his parents. I think he wanted to get them somewhere with less bullets. So we've got Peter and Michelle the lawyer standing up for their friends. Peter's trying to tell Michelle that he doesn't think she's got a full picture of what Janice's dad, Tombstone, what he's into. Oh, I'm aware, she replies, because, guess what? Next page. I'm Mr. Lincoln's lawyer. You're Tombstone's lawyer? No, I'm Lonnie Lincoln's lawyer. Michelle believes that laws were designed to protect everyone, even supervillains like Tombstone? And then we get a rather bitchy comment about Punisher, surprise, surprise, with Michelle saying, Don't tell me you're a Punisher guy. Is that it? You think Frank Castle is a hero? And then Peter replies, I, of all people, know the Punisher is a villain, just like Tombstone. It seems that Marvel Comics really hate Frank Castle at the moment, doesn't it? Okay, back to Kraven and Queen Goblin. Again, I do like this art. It's dark, it's mysterious, it's very moody. Patrick Gleason does a great job of drawing the Queen Goblin and Kraven. They're referencing Kraven's Last Hunt, which is one of my favourite storylines in Spider-Man history. We've got Queen Goblin saying, Your father became the spider, bested the spider's enemy to prove his worth, but his prey was weak, a pathetic rat. Remember that crazy rat man? And on the next page, Queen Goblin tells Kraven, You will best the spider's greatest foe. And look at this awesome image of the costume, the Green Goblin's costume, look at that. That's the classic one, isn't it? But first, she tells him, you must restore him, restore his sins. Then kill him and you will free me. Back to Norman and Peter, and of course, Peter's gone to the office, to Oscorp, to help out Norman. Yeah, my night went sideways. And hey, I've worked on this thing for months. I'm not going to let you do the fun stuff without me. Peter, you can't keep doing this, says Norman. Then he's basically telling Peter that he knows Pete's checking in on him, scanning him, checking for signs of the madness. I just want to make sure you're okay. Then we do get a nice little scene here where we got Peter saying, The more that I work with you, the more I recognise something familiar. The Norman Osborn I first met, the one who treated me like a son. I'm beginning to think that might be the real you. Is it going to be famous last words for Peter? Peter, that means more than... Shung. The lights go out. Power loss? But I added triple redundancy after Otto's attack. That means it's bad. What in God's name? Then we've got Kraven here and there's some crazy kind of effigy, some kind of huge... I don't know what it is. It looks like a weird scarecrow. You betray your glory with these rags, Goblin. I'm here to make you whole. And then we see Kraven's got this spear. This is your destiny. Don't make him pay for your sins. We've got Spidey saying, Kraven, that spear, is that... Oh God, I'm sorry, Peter, I tried. And then he locks the door on him. He locks Peter out. I respect a man who recognises fate, says Kraven. Is Norman giving up? Maybe, he says. And then, next page. But I'll be damned if I don't try. Crack! And he hits Kraven with a great right hook. The Goblin stirs. Kraven shouting at Norman that he is the king, he is the Goblin, he has to accept his crown. While in the background we've got this weird sound going, whoop, 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 boom. The door blows open. That's it for the plasma engine project, says Spidey. I've got to say, I'm not a fan of this suit. Look at the eyes are all weird. The strange, like, globes on his arms that look like spikes there, or teeth. The fire extinguishers have been activated automatically. Peter says he can't see, but his Spidey sense is tingling. He's got to fight his instincts, go towards the danger. He's got to find Norman. Can you guess what's going to happen next? Okay, I'm going to stop here. I don't want to spoil the last couple of pages. But yeah, you've guessed it. That's exactly what happens. And there you have it. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that review. What did you think of the issue? Did you enjoy the story? Are you buying Spider-Man? If you're buying it, are you reading it? That's the question. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. Anyway, here is a preview of the next issue's cover, which is issue 33. That'll be out in 2 weeks. Quite a minimal looking cover, but I've got to say, I'm pretty excited by who we see hanging there in that web. Looking cool. Okay, so as always, thank you so much for watching. Do drop a comment if you don't agree with me, or if you do agree, just let me know what you thought of it. If you hated it, please tell me why. And yeah, tell me what I've missed, because that was a huge info dump in the recap page. I have no idea what they were talking about. What is that spear all about? Anyway, okay, I hope to see you in a future video. This is Gray from Wakazashi's Tea House, signing off for the morning. Matane.